Mental Health by Julia Frank. Different types of mental health disorders. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, here are a few mental illnesses. While all of the mental illnesses are not listed, I have listed some of the most common mental illnesses. Anxiety is an excessive worrying over a period of time that can affect their work and social life. ADHD can have a hard time paying attention and focusing, having the urge to always be moving, and can make decisions quickly without comprehending what the consequences of those actions could be. Autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, usually have a hard time socializing or being around other people. Bipolar disorder. Changes in mood are quick and sudden, such as being super happy one minute to being super sad the next minute. Depression. Sadness that lasts over long periods of time. Usually will change mood and activities, less active, don't want to do work, sleep a lot, and effects on food consumption. Eating disorder. An illness where a person will see or feel as though they are overweight or in some cases underweight, leading to eating disorders such as anorexic, bulimia, and binge eating disorder. HIV and AIDS are more likely to develop depression and anxiety because of their new lifestyle with the disease. Obsessive compulsion disorder. Thoughts and actions that a person feels when they need to repeat over and over again because of urges. PTSD, caused by a past event that was life-changing, can cause flashbacks or triggers to that memory. When triggered, the body will go into defense mode. Schizophrenia. People can lose touch with reality, they can't pay attention, they can hear and see things that aren't there, and they don't have motivation anymore. They can also lose enjoyment in life over periods of time. Treatment strategies. According to Mental Health America, here are some treatments used to help mental illnesses. Psychotherapy. Treatment where the patient will talk to a therapist about how to improve their health with emotions and behavior. Medication. Support groups allows patients to see that they are not the only one that feels that way. They are able to talk to other people that feel the same way as well. It's a way to know they are not as alone as they may think they are. A self-help plan is a plan made by the individual about how to help them when their mental illness is triggered or what causes the trigger to occur. Hospitalization occurs when the person is at high risk. They need to be watched closely for their well-being. How can we improve mental health? Prevention strategies. According to YouthGov, here are some preventions, promotions, and improvements to improving mental health. Prevention is hard with mental health. Everyone is different when it comes to their mental health. While there is no true prevention that works for everyone, there are some areas that could help prevent mental illnesses. Selective preventive interventions, a group or individual that shows risk factors from biological, psychological, and social impact. Indicated preventive interventions, used for individuals that show to have symptoms of a possible mental illness and needs immediate help. Universal preventive interventions, prevent possible mental health illnesses or risk that could impact the community. Promotions are ideas that are used to try to benefit the mental health of people by preventing possible mental health illnesses in the future. Childhood support and checkups, making sure they are raised in a healthy environment, are developing properly, and how the schools and peers act towards the child. Closer looks at more mental illness likely groups such as minorities, immigrants. Schools, providing students with more information about mental illnesses from early childhood, teaching children that it's okay to receive help for how they feel and knowing that they have people that they can talk to. Improvement, allow more interventions throughout their life as a child. School from an early age should teach about mental health more than they do now. Learning the signs of mental illnesses and using the universal prevention interventions in a better way. Do people realize how common mental illness is? People do not realize how common it is. While mental illnesses are being talked about more often than before, people do not realize how many people actually have a mental illness. According to Healthline, the mask is used by people to hide their real emotions by pretending they are happy and not sad. People can be so good at hiding their emotions that it's sometimes impossible to tell that they actually could be depressed or have anxiety. I believe this goes with people not being able to realize how common it is, because you could physically see someone that is happy, but mentally they could be a whole different situation. As someone who has a sister that likes to mask her feelings, I know it is hard to tell when someone is actually in a depressive episode. They tend to hold in their emotions until they're alone, but it usually makes it worse for them later when they aren't around anyone. I also feel that statistics are not shared enough. According to MD Live, 40 million adults in the US have anxiety. 80 million will have PTSD, and 6 million have panic disorders. As well, MD Live also stated that women overall are more likely to suffer from mental illnesses than men. Another reason people don't realize how common mental illness is, because of genes. According to the National Institute of Health, genes play a big role in mental illnesses. People don't realize that several different mental illnesses can run in the family. So if someone in your family had depression, it is possible that in the future generations, another family member will have depression. I think one of the reasons that mental illness is becoming common is also to deal with social media. According to Help Guide, social media is one of the worst things for mental illnesses. People will post pictures of themselves doing fun things and can make people feel as though that person has such an amazing life and the so-called perfect life, that the person that has the mental illness will feel depressed as they can't achieve that lifestyle. As well, social media has shown many girls and boys of what the perfect body stereotype is supposed to look like, causing an impact on their mental health. Don't forget also that social media can lead to things such as cyberbullying, as well not being able to get away from that hate that a person could be receiving at school. Social media is always there, and sometimes you can't even get rid of the stuff that's going on in school with social media always in the palm of your hand. What can reduce the stigma that surrounds seeking help for mental illnesses? I think one of the biggest ones is athletes talking about their mental illnesses. According to WKYC Studios, athletes such as Kevin Love and Michael Phelps have been talking about their mental illnesses and how anyone can have one and how to deal with the situation. According to Mayo Clinic, schools are also a big thing that should help reduce the stigma by letting students know that it's okay to reach out for help, helping find ways to work with the student, and in general making the school a healthy environment. TV shows are also being used to reduce the stigma that surrounds seeking help for mental illnesses. While TV shows today don't talk about mental illnesses, back in the 1990s, there was an episode of Full House called Shaped Up, episode 8 of season 4, which talked about the mental disorder anorexia and how it affects people and how to handle it, and to raise awareness about what was occurring during that time. Another stigma that we should also be using is expressing mental health on media networks. Even if it's just for about 5 minutes and just talking about what is occurring in the mental health world today, we can make changes to lower the stigma and how to use preventatives and promotions better towards mental health and illnesses. And this will also allow people to see how common it is and maybe not be afraid to talk about their feelings more often. As well, we should also make statistics more available to people so they can know how big mental health is today. This would make it a lot easier for people to talk that they're not alone and to know they are not the only people affected, as well knowing that it doesn't make them weak or not the same as other people for having a mental illness. Kevin Love and Michael Phelps. According to WKYC Studios, Kevin Love is raising awareness about mental health through the Locker Room Talk and the Kevin Love Fund, as Kevin Love is one to suffer from anxiety and panic attacks. In his one episode of Locker Room Talks, he also talks to Olympic gold medalist Michael Phelps, who suffers from depression and almost committed suicide. In Locker Room Talk, he raises awareness about men have masculine stereotypes that they are supposed to follow that can have effect on their overall well-being. The Kevin Love Fund expresses how important it is for your mental health to be as healthy as your physical health, and raising awareness about how mental health is not taken as seriously as physical health. Finally, just be kind to others, because you never know what they're going through.